Hi everyone, welcome to your Pick-a-Pile reading. Today we're finding out what their next move is. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you end up subscribing, I upload my Pick-a-Pile readings on Sundays. Also, if there's a Pick-a-Pile reading that you're interested in seeing, make sure to leave it in a comment below. And as always, if you're interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description. But pile 1 is the Sun and Moon Tarot, pile 2 is the Mystical Manga Tarot, and then pile 3 is the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. And with that being said, I'm going to give you guys some more time to choose in case you haven't already. And then I'll get started with pile number 1. Okay. Just as a heads up, sometimes the cards will flip over in the deck, but usually I don't take them unless they jump out by themselves. If there are too many, usually I put them back, but just know that I do see that they're flipped over in the deck. I'm gonna go ahead and take these. Alright, so your overall energy is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups talks about water sign energy. So that would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces for a lot of you guys. So either you or they may have very prevalent water sign energy, perhaps in their big three, so their sun, moon, or rising, or maybe their moon or Venus. But I'm definitely getting that here there's a very much need to be very compassionate here. I feel like there is a lot of issues that are currently taking place, and as a result, there's a lot of compassion and a lot of understanding that's sort of being asked from both sides. And I think it's very interesting because I'm looking at this reading, right? And there's a very interesting combination because there's the Five of Swords and the Eight of Cups. And usually that would indicate some kind of leaving a situation. Usually that indicates people that are no longer interested in the situation. But then there's also the Nine of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. So it almost feels like there is going to be a new beginning later on down the road for a lot of you guys. it's just very interesting. I think there's a lot of harsh communication right now, because the Princess of Swords here is the Page of Swords, right? And the Page of Swords doesn't really have a whole lot of emotional intelligence. The pages tend to be a little bit more on the immature side, so they're not so much aware of the qualities that they lack, right? So the kings and queens are a lot more aware that they lack specific qualities, and they're also a lot better at what they can do. But, you know, the pages are still mastering their element and still are yet to even consider other elements, right? So usually the Page of Swords comes in with a quick tongue and leaves. Doesn't really pay a whole lot of attention to people's feelings. And with this Five of Swords, I definitely feel like a lot of that's been happening. Right? So the Five of Swords is conflict, and I feel like a lot of the times it's petty conflict. But this feels like arguments. This feels like playing mental chess. And I don't know. I feel like this person just wants to leave that energy behind, right? They want to leave the energy of arguing, of I'm right and you're wrong, and this is what we're gonna do, and not what you said. You know, like that kind of energy is definitely something that this person wants to leave behind with this Eight of Cups. And with this Nine of Wands, I feel like if this is a romantic connection, this person definitely wants to fight for this connection, because I feel like there's a whole lot to it, especially with this Four of Wands, because Four of Wands is my level up and commitment card. So it almost feels like there is a higher level commitment to be had here, or a higher level of relationship to be had. Maybe you guys are like soulmates or something, but it almost feels like you guys have a lot of things that you need to work out individually, so when you come together, you see a lot of this Five of Swords, and you see a lot of this he said, she said kind of energy. But I definitely see love, and this Ace of Cups symbolizes new love, new arrivals of love, so I think that there's a very good chance that you guys might still almost get reconcile. Which to me is strange, because that's not a word that I use typically unless these people are broken up and thinking of getting back together. So for some of you, that might be the situation. And I can very much see that that might be something that you guys end up doing, especially with this Magician card. Like, that's something that you can very much manifest. But I do see sort of two different types of women here. So for some of you, it might be a same-sex connection, but I see a water woman, and then I see a fire woman. So I feel like one of you is much more keen to sort of go off on your own pursuits, and the other one of you is a lot more, you know, wanting to fight for the connection. And I'm assuming that the water queen is you, just because these type of videos tend to attract that type of person. But, you know, obviously if water gets too close to fire, sometimes it has the danger of putting it out. And if fire gets too close to water, you know, it can make it boil. So I don't feel like this is a situation where, you know, either party is 100% at fault. It's just that I don't think things quite lined up the right way, so that led to a lot of these arguments. But there's definitely something worth fighting for here with this Nine of Wands. And as to what your person wants to do, I'm getting like one of two or three things. They want to move away from this argument for sure. So I think that for a lot of you, that might mean a drop in communication. And for others of you, that might mean that they come back and sort of say, hey, let's work this out. But I'm definitely seeing new love at some point So don't forget about this connection quite yet. But that was your reading for this time around, pile number 1. You're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile if you enjoyed. Please consider leaving a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. Also, if you have any suggestions for another pile, please leave them in the comment section below. And like I said before, I upload my new pick a pile videos on Sunday. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings. And I hope to see you guys next time. All right, pile number 2. This is the Mystical Manga Tarot. And just as a heads up, the cards like to flip around in the deck. I do see them, however, I don't usually take them unless they pop out by themselves. So I'm definitely getting that this person wants to come forward and communicate. However, if they will, may just be another question. Oh. So I don't know if you guys saw earlier, but earlier when one of a group of cards fell out, the Three of Swords was on top, and it came out by itself now, so now it's the reading. So I think that that's definitely a big part of this connection for a lot of you guys, is the fact that there's been some kind of a heartache in the past. Alright, you guys, so I'm definitely getting that this is a very powerful connection. For some of you, this connection may involve an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Cancer or Virgo, based off of the Star card, the Justice card, the Devil card, and the Hermit card. I'm sorry, I think I just said Cancer, but I meant to say Capricorn with the Devil card. So maybe Cancer is heavy in one of your charts or something along the lines. Or maybe there's a prominent mother in the situation. But I'm definitely getting that this person certainly wants to reach out. Because I see the Page of Swords in reverse and the Knight of Swords in reverse. Or sorry, the Page of Swords is in reverse, but the Knight of Coins is in upright. I feel like this person has difficulty trying to say what's on their mind, because like I feel tongue-tied, and I feel like I can't really get my messages out. So I think that you make this person nervous. I do see the Empress in reverse here, so maybe they see you as the Emperor, and they're sort of the Empress in reverse, or you feel this way. But definitely it almost feels like one of you's out of the other person's league, and as a result, there's sort of this nervous energy. But with the Star card, I'm definitely getting that there's like a wish here. A wish to come forward and communicate and be together, I feel, because the Page of Swords to me feels like there is something that is not quite... I'm getting the phrase like, let's set the record straight, right? And the Swords cards often have to do with clarity. So I think that what's going on here is that there's some kind of situation that isn't clear. And I'm looking at this Justice card, and in this Justice card, Lady Justice has her eyes covered, right? And that tells me that she's looking towards justice first and doesn't want to be clouded by her own personal judgment. But because it's in reverse, it tells me that, you know, personal judgment is very heavy in the situation, and there's a lot of miscommunications that have occurred. And as a result, it's probably led to this Three of Swords. It almost feels as if, you know, things have been said that were misunderstood, and this person almost feels like it's better not to talk at all because everything that they said gets misunderstood and sort of their words get twisted around or whatever. And it feels like that's not what they want, but that's like the conclusion that they've come to sort of on an intellectual level, because I see this Page of Swords and this Knight of Coins, right? And those are two very not so emotional cards, because to me the cards that are far more emotional are the Wands and the Cups, right? But we have a bunch of major arcana and one wand card. And so that leads me to believe that they're almost making a head over heart decision here. Yeah, and the signs that showed up are the Hermit and the Devil, which are both earth signs, Virgo and Capricorn, and then Libra and Aquarius, which are both air signs. So I feel like there was emotion here for sure, because there's the Sun, the Star, the Empress. Like, those are all very emotional, like not like emotional cards, but like very wishing cards, very like dreamy cards. I feel like the emotions were there. It's just that right now this person has to make decisions based on I almost get like the phrase their wallet. So I think that for a lot of these people, money is very important right now, and they realistically cannot be in some kind of relationship that'll I'm almost getting like this person's working overtime right now, and it's like they don't really have time for a relationship. So I think that in the long run, that's leading to a lot of heartache, especially with the Three of Swords. But eventually, you're going to come out of it, because the Hermit card talks about going within, and then the Star card talks about your wishes, right? So it's like they're keeping you in their heart even though they're not talking to you. And even though they would want to talk to you with this Eight of Wands, they're refraining from doing that because they know that it wouldn't work out right now. And they think that it would be better if they just waited a little bit. And I think that's honestly true, because I see the Sun card, so like in the end it's all going to work out. I just think that right now it's not working out. I think that you might have some similar energy to pile number one with this Devil card, and not in the sense that this is like a toxic relationship, but like you guys got together and the stars didn't really line up, and as a result sort of a lot of I feel like this could be like higher level soulmate as well, because usually when that happens there's the tendency that, you know, insecurities get flared up and it becomes difficult. And I feel like this person has a lot of issues with sex and intimacy, with the Devil card here. It's very interesting to always look at how different the Devil card is depicted, because every tarot deck basically zeroes in on a different aspect of the Devil. And I'm definitely seeing like this person is trapped, because you see these people and they're sort of in bondage. So I feel like this person feels trapped by their own sense of intimacy. It's like if they start to get too attached to someone, they start to feel trapped in the relationship. It's like they lose a portion of their freedom, and I feel like they're just kind of struggling to maintain that right now. And I feel like a lot of them might be fighting for a sense of individuality and a sense of identity right now. So I think that it goes a little bit further. Like, if this hasn't gone off the ground, it's because it runs deeper than just the surface level attraction, right? Because I do feel like they're very attracted to you and they want to be with you, especially with the Sun card, because the Sun card is very reminiscent of the Six of Cups as well. So, at least this particular rendition, in the sense that it feels like you're making them fall in love for the first time. It feels very Hollywood emotions, right? Very, very powerful, very like falling in love, almost ideal, and I feel like that scares them to some degree. But that was your reading for this pile number 2. You're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile if you want. But if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these resonate. If these readings resonate for you guys. If you have any suggestions on a pick a pile video that you'd like to see in the future, please leave them in the comment section below. And like I said before, I upload my new pick a pile videos on Sundays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time. All right, this is pile number 3. So just as a heads up, the cards might flip over in the deck. I do see them, however, I usually do not take them unless they pop out of the deck. I'm going to go ahead and take these cards. I'm almost getting long-term ex here. So somebody who you've been broken up with for probably a significant amount of time is wanting to come back. And I'm definitely getting that they might be a water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Especially with this King of Cups here. So, definitely the King of Cups asks to be in a very emotionally compassionate state of mind right now. And also, now that I'm remembering, pile number 1 actually had the Queen of Cups come up as their overall energy. So, definitely if you chose pile number 1, or if you were going back and forth between pile number 1 and pile number 3, it might be worth to go back and check that one. But I'm definitely getting that this is sort of like a longer term X. And the reason I think that is because you have the Nine of Cups here with the Three of Pentacles. And the Nine of Cups is usually an emotional message, right? So a lot of times that's a love offer, and a lot of times that can be an apology. And I'm definitely getting heavy apology vibes here. And this Knight of Cups in particular, I don't know why, it makes me feel like they've been drinking. So you might actually even get like a drunk text from this person being like, hey, I'm so sorry. I miss what we had. Like, nobody makes me feel quite the way that you did. You know, that kind of an energy. Let's work on it. Because I see this Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles talks about working together. So I think that they're at a point where they're wanting to work on this connection. And I feel like the reason I say that it's a longer term X is because I feel like the connection was really strong when it was there. And you guys really, like when you broke up, you missed it, and they missed it too, but they didn't want to let that on. And maybe a lot of them got like into another relationship right away to sort of distract themselves. But now like they might have this huge void, especially if they've broken up recently, where they're like, man, like I just miss this person. And I feel like the breakup wasn't on you. I feel like it was because of their shady behavior here with the Seven of Swords. And see, like, because I'm looking at the Seven of Swords, and this person dropped a sword. So it almost feels like they were doing something that they knew that they shouldn't have, and that you got like wind of it, and then you were like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm feeling like for a lot of you guys, they may have crossed a boundary, or maybe they were cheating, talking about someone else. Not like talking, but like talking to someone else. And like that last sword that fell feels like a breadcrumb that you sort of like picked up on, and you were like, what's going on? And maybe you found out through someone else what was actually going on. And as a result, they felt like they lost something with you, right? Because, you know, obviously you're upset with them, and there's like no hope. I feel like in their mind there was no hope that the relationship would ever like be salvaged. With this Eight of Swords, because the Eight of Swords talks about being trapped. But I feel like something recently is going to make them release their inhibitions. So either this is like a divinely orchestrated event, or they get like a little bit intoxicated. A little bit of that inebriation lets them go of their inhibitions, and then they're coming forward to you. Something like that. Something that'll make them just like... Because like I see sort of like a scale in my head. You know, their wantingness to come back versus their willingness to come forth and sort of face the music. But they have this Fool in reverse, right? And the Fool talks about starting new beginnings. You know, and like the Fool in reverse can talk about stuff like starting a beginning foolishly, not being prepared, coming forth when you're not supposed to. But I think that more than that, it feels like their unwillingness to let go. And like, I feel like that's going to be something that they say. They're going to be like, hey, all these days and all these nights without you, just like, it's not the same. And I feel like they're going to say something like, from the days into the weeks into the months into the years, like, it's just not not the same without you, because together we had the Six of Wands. Together we felt, at least they felt like unbeatable in the connection. And I feel like that's all stuff that they really didn't. It's like the saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. And they want the Six of Wands back. They want this victory back with you. Because that's what the Six of Wands is victory. So it almost feels like they're... See, because like you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups, a lot of times talks about daydreaming. I don't know why, but I'm getting like, this person is a drinker, like for sure. And I don't know why, but the cards are just like making me feel that. And I feel like your person is sort of sitting alone in a room with a bottle and a glass, I guess, and just sort of like really, really depressed. I feel like they feel like they're alone and they don't really have a connection, and much less a connection that can measure up to what the connection they had with you was like. And, you know, like, they're sitting in their room and they're just thinking about it. And especially if they have like any keepsakes or any photos of you, like they're just sort of clinging on to those memories with this Fool in reverse. And that's sort of their Seven of Cups energy, because the Seven of Cups energy is fantasies. So I feel like they're just sort of clinging on to that and hoping that they can have this Ace of Pentacles and sort of mark this stability again. So what's your person's next move? I think it's that they're going to text you. Hopefully when they're sober, but I'm getting that this person is... Maybe they're like really depressed, and that's how they're trying to cope, is by sort of, obviously not a good way to cope, but I think they really miss you and they want to come forward, but they're too embarrassed or too shy or not like wanting to face the music. But that was your reading for this pile number 3. You're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile if you enjoyed, but please consider leaving a like or a comment. It really helps out the channel, and I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new pick a pile videos on Sundays, but in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings. And with that, I hope to see you guys next time.